Hi, my name is George Mormisato. I want to show off a product called GridWhale. This is a prototype of a cloud-based development environment that will let you create and execute your programs on the cloud. Now, there's a lot of advantages to this. For one thing, like any other cloud system, the deployment is going to be really easy. You can create your programs in the cloud, run them on the cloud, and then when you want to share them, when you want other people to access them, you just send them an URL. It's just as easy as any other cloud-based system. Also, because the program itself is running in the cloud on the GridWhale system, we can scale it to any number of users. No matter how many thousands or millions of users you want to access the program, we'll manage those those connections, and so your program will be able to scale. Similarly, if your program requires more than one computer to execute, if you've got, let's say, a render farm that you want to render lots of images, or you've got some complex simulations that require lots and lots of CPUs, the system will easily scale to any number of CPUs, and you'll be able to take advantage of them. And lastly, because the program itself is running in the cloud, you'll be able to integrate with any other cloud system. So accessing data stored in other services, whether it's Google Drive or Azure Cloud Files or AWS or anything, we'll be able to access those files, that data, given appropriate permissions, of course, but using data center communications. So the bandwidth connection between them is going to be very, very fast, and you'll be able to access that data very, very quickly. Your programs will be able to talk to that data very quickly. So I just want to show off some of the things that this prototype is. Again, this is just a prototype. It's just the barest hint of how this will work. But I just want to show off what we've got so you can kind of see some of the core concepts. Basically, you can imagine that over here, you can write your program, and it's just simple. We've got a bunch of languages that you can use. In this case, one of the languages is just a simple little Lisp language. This was just really trivial for me to implement, so that's why I started with this. But obviously, you can imagine, you run it and then you get the output. This source code is stored in the cloud. When I hit run, it's actually telling the cloud system to run it. Then all the side effects and all the answers come back and they get displayed on your browser window. So conceptually very easy, and nothing super crazy. Another language that we've got integrated is Julia. Julia is a pretty cool language for numerical calculations, and just has been used a lot. I think particularly in scientific computations, and so integrating this into GridWhale was pretty cool. Again, this is a very simple Julia program. It's just a sieve, a prime number sieve, and at the end we just also print out a factorial just to show off some of the fact that Julia supports arbitrary precision integers. But again, I've run it in the cloud. There's a Julia system running that will run the actual program, and we get the results. And so here's some prime numbers, and here's a big integer. Pretty much what you'd expect. Let me show off something else. This is a Mandelbrot system. Again, very traditional program to run. This is in Julia, and the way the image is generated is with this little line which just maps pixels. And so the cool thing about this function that maps pixels is it's easily parallelizable. So this is the kind of a system where on our backend we can take, and then if necessary, split it off across multiple machines and let the result happen on multiple machines. We're not quite doing that yet in this prototype, but that's the kind of stuff that the cloud is kind of designed to do, that GridWhale is really designed to do. So again, this is showing off how this program is running off in the cloud, and then we're getting back some image. In this case, the image is generated in GridWhale in the cloud and sent back, transmitted back to the browser just using normal browser semantics. Okay, I'm going to show one last program, and this kind of combines a whole bunch of different pieces of GridWhale. Basically, what this program does is this program loads some data out of a Google spreadsheet, So we've shared permissions with Google. The creator of this program, the user of this program, has shared permissions with Google, so that the program itself can access the Google spreadsheet. The GridWhale cloud will then connect to the Google spreadsheet. We'll pull the data. The data will get loaded into some Julia arrays, and then we're going to take that data and we're going to draw some orbits. In this case, the spreadsheet is a list of asteroids in the solar system with orbital parameters, and we're going to use that data to draw the orbits here on the screen. Now, one thing that's different in this particular demo, let me just run it first so you can see it. The first thing it's going to do is ask me to sign in, and of course I'm going to sign in. This is all just because it's integrated with Google. And then we're going to go select the file that I want, and this is just browsing through my Google directory. We're going to load that, and then it's going to load it. Again, this is all happening in the background. And here it is, it's drawing all the asteroid orbits, and here's just showing some kind of debug output. Now, the interesting thing about how this works is that the code, of course, is running in the cloud, and there are in the program, there are places where we draw the orbit, and we're basically calling these canvas commands. These canvas commands set paths, draw lines, set colors, and they get translated into HTML canvas commands on the front end, essentially in kind of almost like a remote server type of protocol. So the Grid Cloud server is sending the browser essentially canvas commands to draw. So in that way, we've turned this browser into essentially a smart terminal that communicates with the program actually running on the cloud, and the program running on the cloud is controlling this terminal by telling it what to draw. So using that same system, there's just any number of things we could do. Obviously, you can now do interactive programs, and so now you're interacting. The browser you can have interactive controls on the browser that then interact with the program on the GridWhale cloud. And the cool thing about that, of course, is that you get all the advantages of the cloud computing, but you can do it on any kind of front end, any kind of browser-based front end. So that just gives you a ton of advantages. So you can see now how GridWhale is this cloud-based development environment. We can write your programs, they get stored in the cloud, you can execute them in the cloud, and you can have access to all the scalability that the cloud gives you, whether it's the number of users that you share to or the number of CPUs that you use. And you can integrate with all these cloud-based sources. So that, in a nutshell, is this prototype GridWhale. That's what we're working on, and we're very excited about it. So thank you for watching.